Alright, I'm back with part 2 of the problems and who's causing it and what some of our other problems are. To summarize, in the last video I spoke about how black people should be thankful to their ancestors and thankful to the people who bought the slaves. Both made them stronger, made them get what they have today. White people need to be thankful to the slaves and to their own ancestors for making us stronger. We could have a great nation. All we have to do is get along. And another problem is that I covered is they're tearing down monuments. NBA players, I didn't mention this in the last video. NBA players want to wear sayings on their jerseys. Um, Tearing down monuments, taking names of presidents off buildings, and it's just nonsense. I also covered that they want to make Washington, D.C. a state, the 51st state, and how they'd end up changing the flag to basically be like Israel, the United Nations, or something like that. Anyway, we will move on now. We will move on to another problem. Before I say who is bankrolling all this, we will move on to another problem and this problem not only affects us, it affects a lot of other people. The so-called hashtag Me Too movement, which was huge last year. I know it's called hashtag speaking out now, but we'll get to that. It was called hashtag Me Too last year. It was big where a bunch of celebrities and high-profile women went after high-profile targets. Roy Moore, who the system didn't like. A woman lied about what he wrote in her yearbook 30 or so years ago. She admitted lying about it. She admitted plagiarizing. Yet, he's out of a career. Big surprise. Then we got high profile actresses, or would have been, have been in the past. People like Alyssa Milano and Ashley Judd and stuff going after big name people. Harvey Weinstein's in prison now because of what people like that said. Was he a basically woman fondler, rapist, whatever, years and decades ago? Well, first, I don't know the man. He's part of Hollywood, and Hollywood's a cesspool. So chances are likely, yes, he is. But to say he done it 20 or some odd more years ago is no reason to get him convicted and put in prison. First of all, statute of limitation of rape is 7 years. Secondly, there is no absolute proof. He was convicted on hearsay. There was not even any circumstantial evidence. He was convicted on hearsay and the power of social media, or as I like to call it, socialist media, as we're moving toward a socialist government, and most people don't even see that coming. Look at just a few things. I'll go with England as well, but in this country, tons of English wrestlers, professional wrestlers, are out of jobs because one person with a Twitter handle accused them, and they've been fired. Uh, a wrestler named Sammy Guevara. Yeah, he's Mexican, but he's the only one not white so far. Made a joke about another wrestler, a black female named Sasha Banks. In 2014, he's suspended indefinitely without pay. Then we have multiple other wrestlers who spoke out to a woman or supposedly done something 10 or more years ago. They get fired. An entire wrestling organization within WWE called WWE NXT UK is on the fringe of just shutting down because of allegations. Allegations. No proof whatsoever because socialist media doesn't need proof. People lose jobs because of allegations. Women say they don't have equal rights. If women ever got equal rights, they would risk falling to the death they'd have to come down so far. The feminist movement began, supposedly, probably began before this, but it supposedly began in this country with Dolly Madison, First Lady to James Madison, by the way, uh, and it just grew from there. So women may not have the right to vote back then, but they influenced their husbands or boyfriends how they voted. And women were also in government in the 1700s, along with black people. But mainstream media leaves those facts out. Why do they leave those facts out? Because women hating men and blacks hating whites are the two easiest things. They are better than abortion as far as a hot topic. Hot topic is abortion for every election. It won't have to be this year because we got Shovid, not COVID, but Shovid, SHOW dash VID 19, because the show is the thing. Wear your mask, which is another thing. Who wears masks? Muslims and Islamic people. They've trained society in less than 2.5 months to wear masks, make it their idea, and make it a social fashion thing. Then we have black people like, I'm sorry, I'll never have respect for this man, ever. Bubba Wallace in NASCAR racing. First, he wanted the Confederate flag out of NASCAR. Boom, they done that. And NASCAR was built on the Confederate flag because a bunch of moonshine runners back, way back in the past, I would say, most people would say back in the day, but I can't stand that saying. They're too afraid to call themselves old. uh, so, way back when, moonshine runners were the beginning of NASCAR. And therefore they respected that Confederate flag. Bubba Wallace drives for Richard Petty, who's an old man, long since retired, very good race car driver. But what did he do? He respected the Confederate flag. NASCAR got rid of it. Boo hoo. They also had tons of people outside their outside Talladega with Confederate flags. Even a plane flew by that said defund NASCAR. They also had a Confederate flag, and they claimed the race was postponed because of rain. However, during the showing of that Confederate flag in that plane, the skies were clear. I didn't watch the race, and I refused to. I refuse to watch any anymore because of mainly that reason. So I think they just postponed the race because of that. They were scared. Anyway, then Bubba's not done. He's got his I can't breathe mask on and Black Lives Matter bullshit um, shirt and everything else that they mass produce. Yet it's all spontaneous rallies. And he claims there was a noose in the garage and it was racial. So they got the FBI looking into it. They done everything. And what they prove? That it's not a noose. It was a tie for a garage door that'd been there since October of last year. Then he comes on and said, oh, he's exhausted and blacks have to be hypersensitive, and the man just won't shut up. Quite frankly, he's like, well, there's no way I can put it nicely. He's just a whining little bitch. He's a dog looking for a bone. And I don't even want to put down dogs by saying that, so I retract the dog looking for a bone thing, because I'm not even going to put down dogs with bones. But now they got football players, an entire soccer game where everybody knelt for the anthem. And I don't care. You may respect Colin Kaepernick, but quite frankly, if there's uh, a black man I can't stand any more than Barack Obama, it's got to be Colin Kaepernick. And they're right up there. And it's nothing to do with really they're black, because Colin Kaepernick's kind of completely black, but he doesn't respect his actual parents because, well, quite frankly, there's nobody on earth that should ever respect Colin Kaepernick. He knelt for the anthem. He done the unthanksgiving thing with the Indians, where uh, during Thanksgiving too, because he didn't like America. He admitted he doesn't like America, but claims it's because of the Black Lives Matter and what whites done to black. I mean, if anybody respects Colin Kaepernick, they need a brain transplant because the man's a hating, maniacal, militant, and a lot of people say that Bubba Walsh is going or somebody is going to be on the same level as Muhammad Ali. Oh, Colin Kaepernick supposedly going to be on the same level as Muhammad Ali and Jackie Robinson. Well, first things first, I have nothing against Jackie Robinson. Very good baseball player, played a long time, done his job. I'll respect him. Muhammad Ali is a worthless son of a bitch. He was drafted. He ran his little ass as Cassius Clay to Canada because he didn't want to fight for his country. He changed to be a Muslim, changed his name to Muhammad Ali, came back to this country to do what? Fight for money. And a lot of people say he's a hero. To me, he's a worthless piece of shit. He couldn't fight for his country, but he can fight in his country for money. So I do not respect him. And when he got, I don't know, a lot of people say karma's a bitch. Well, when he got Parkinson's, karma bit him in the ass. And Colin Kaepernick being on the same level as Muhammad Ali sure put him there. He's a worthless sack of shit, too. If you cannot stand for your anthem and you're not in a wheelchair or a wounded veteran with no legs, then you don't respect America. I'll give the little kids who don't know any better the benefit that if you're an adult who is capable of standing for the anthem, then you should. I mean, nobody who sings anthem really does a good job. That's beside the point. They try to put feeling into it when really they can't. The anthem isn't made for people to sing without backup singers anymore. But still, I digress. Uh, the speaking out movement is killing people. The Black Lives Matter people is killing this nation. Washington, D.C. wanting to be a state's killing this nation. And who is funding it? Well, let's see. The Rothschild family funded both sides World War II and World War One. They backed Hitler. They backed the supposed Allied troops. I'm going to finish this video and start part 3, and then we'll get further into it.